Our top story: after weeks of back and forth, the Ukrainian forces have confirmed that they received cluster bombs pledged by the United States to boost its counter-offensive against Russia. Several allies of the US have expressed unease at Washington's decision to supply Kyiv with these controversial munitions. The United States last week said it would deliver cluster bombs to Ukraine despite concerns over the long-term risk posed to civilians. These explosives can typically release large number of smaller bombs which can remain unexploded on the ground. Those that fail to explode pose a danger for civilians and nature even after the conflict is over. The munitions were part of an $800 million military package. US President Joe Biden had expressed that providing cluster munitions to Ukraine was a tough decision. However, Biden emphasized that Kyiv needed extra munition to refill its depleted stocks. Several allies of Washington, most notably Germany, Canada and UK, have criticized this stance. Germany had voiced its concerns about the misgivings of these cluster bombs to Ukraine. Canadian President Justin Trudeau had earlier said that the country stands against the use of these bombs that pose a threat to innocent people. UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak had also denounced Washington's move to provide these cluster bombs.
Well, the UK is signatory to a convention which prohibits the production or use of cluster munitions and discourages their use. We will continue to do our part to support Ukraine against Russia's illegal and unprovoked invasion. We've done that by providing heavy battle tanks and most recently long-range weapons, and hopefully all countries can continue to support Ukraine. Russia's act of barbarism is causing untold suffering to millions of people. It's right that we collectively stand up to it, and I'll be heading off to the NATO summit next week in Vilnius, where we will be discussing exactly this with our allies, how we can strengthen our support for Ukraine.
While these countries are Ukraine's most vocal supporters and have committed billions of dollars in aid to Kyiv since the invasion began, Germany, UK and Canada are members of the Convention on Cluster Munitions, a group of 123 countries which prohibit the production or use of these bombs. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres has also highlighted that cluster bombs must not be used in the battlefield, which are a hazard for the citizens.
I have always supported the international convention banning these cluster bombs. That's my position and I stand by it. Naturally, I understand that neither the United States nor the Russian Federation nor Ukraine have signed the convention, but from my point of view, the convention has been a very important instrument. These bombs must not be used on the battlefield.
Il faut que ces bombes ne soient pas utilisées dans les champs de bataille.
Meanwhile, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky appears to be disappointed as the annual NATO summit in Vilnius this week failed to give Ukraine a clear path for membership, despite widespread recognition that Ukraine's future must be part of NATO. Member states were unable to reach a consensus on the crucial issue of a membership invitation. Many in Ukraine voiced their displeasure over the lack of a clear indication about NATO membership. However, Kyiv did manage to get official word that the nation will be exempted from the membership action plan stage of the accession procedure. NATO leaders also pledged to provide more long-term support to Ukraine and held the inaugural meeting of the new NATO-Ukraine Council with Ukrainian President. Zelensky has expressed that the outcome of this year's NATO summit was disappointing, but not discouraging.